Episode 50. Can you believe it? Isn't that wild? When I started this podcast, I did not even think I was going to get to episode 50. I thought I would do like 10 episodes and be like, I'm all set. The last 2 years that I've done the podcast, I've had the pleasure of sitting down and talking to real estate professionals, local restaurant business owners, martial artists, attorneys, home inspectors, loan officers. Who else am I forgetting? Therapists. I mean, a lot of great people that this podcast gave me an outlet to talk to. There was even some close friends that I have been friends with for so long, but I never really sat down with them for an entire hour and learned so much about them. And this is kind of why the podcast is so special to me, because I get to connect with people that are in my life and learn a lot of great things from them. So I hope over the past 50 episodes, you've enjoyed what I've put out. I'm always looking for new people and new guests, and if you think somebody would be really interesting for the podcast, reach out to me and let me know, and I would love to have them on, because who doesn't love meeting new people and learning more about their job, their life, or whatever they're very passionate about. So with the 50th episode, the Big 5-0, I figured I would have my best buddy Mike come on the podcast, and he's been on before, but he's an important part to the podcast, because when I first had the idea of doing a podcast, he was the one immediately supportive, giving me ideas. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. When I was making the logo, he was a very crucial person that I bounced a lot of ideas off of. He's like that in my life because he's just a good dude. I've been friends with Mike since 2006, 2005. Since high school, junior high. I can't even remember now. That's how long we've been friends for. And I felt he was a perfect fit for the Big 5-0. We talked about the charity stream that's coming up, the Rise of the Kobolds, that Mike will actually be DMing for Dennis and I. Really excited to do another charity stream, because not only do we love helping out our local community, but it's also time that I get to spend with two of my close friends, and we get to nerd out and giggle and just be real silly. So November 13th, 7 p.m., the Rise of the Kobolds, or Rise of the Red Scales, a Kobold adventure. Mike will be running that, and I'm very excited to do so. So twitch.tv/Frothy Lawson. Promotion aside, enjoy this episode with Michael Spuches.
I just want to thank you for coming on my show, the Cory Cast. As I said in the intro, thank you to Detroit Boxing, Streamlabs. I already gave them all the shout outs, but for my audience that doesn't know you, can you just give us like a quick, just something about yourself? Like, why do you think I had you on today?
This is you completely flipped the script. I was not ready for this. Hi, my name's
No, you don't have to overthink it. You can just give us like a couple facts about yourself, dude. It's like it's not a big deal.
My name's Cory Lawson. I'm a real estate agent here in Liverpool, New York, and good friends with Mike. Been friends with Mike since 2006, 7. I don't know, buddy. It's been a long time, but I gotta say, it's a real pleasure being on your podcast.
All right. And it's a pleasure having you, dude. So as you know, this podcast, it's been the same since episode 1. You know what the game is by now. Obviously, we're just going to get right into it. So, all right, starting with number 1, Cory, give me your answer, and let's hear it. Cory, come on, do the thing, dude. We rehearsed this, right?
What's my answer?
No, I've just been messing around. What's up, Cory?
I'm like, wait, no, I like this bit, but you didn't ask me a question. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I kind of got lost there. What is the plan for today, though?
Can you believe this shit, though, dude? It's episode 50. How about that shit?
That is wild. Didn't you start this like around a year ago or 2 years? 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, doing every other week. And then after like a short time, I did every week, but that was when COVID hit and things were slow. And now it's hard doing every week. Doesn't take too long to edit.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
But it's a time consuming thing. I mean, for the most part, the conversations aren't really edited. But the cool thing is, I got to talk to a lot of freaking different people from all various backgrounds. Just like you said in the intro earlier. I mean, the intro earlier you put out was amazing. You nailed it out of the park, dude. I can't wait for these people to hear the intro, or they already did.
I'm kind of hoping you just go ahead and snip that whole piece right out of there.
Why?
But it was probably very confusing. But maybe that'll just add to the allure here. Yeah, dude. It's been a long time coming. You've gotten a lot of variety of people on. A lot of people, like you said, you for sure could have had a chance to talk to, but probably wouldn't at the length that you did
for an hour
and like about their specific field. Usually, like if you're talking to someone, it's more like shared interest type thing. Very rarely is it like you grilling someone and drilling down on like something they're very focused on. Like I'm thinking of like John Hess or like Cody Kelly and stuff like that. Like it was cool to hear specifically what they do without just being like, hey, like talking to them like a everyday friend, you know?
Yeah. Especially, dude, I honestly felt like John Hess's was eye-opening for me because, like, dude, we've known how funny John Hess was for so long, but even when as friends we're like, John, what do you do? He's like, neuroscience, and he just like leaves it at that. Like we never just sit down and we're like, what does a day look like for you? And this podcast got me to do that, and like even freaking Merle
so
White
you're saying
episodes again.
John, you're happen to be one of like the on the teams of leading scientists in the country and / like almost the world on like the specific problem you're working on. That's crazy.
You're only collaborating with 2 other labs in the entire world. That's cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely don't realize that kind of stuff in the moment. So it's cool, and it's always like different people with different backgrounds and fields and stuff. From Dungeons and Dragons to attorneys to chefs to real estate agents, it's just kind of all over the board. It's kind of exactly why you started the podcast, Mike. I mean, that's why
that's why we got into this all,
dude.
Exactly. It's why I chose to start this all up. I had a couple different logos in mind. I sent them your way. And we kind of bounced the ideas off each other there, but I went with the logo that we have today. Actually, when did you change your logo? I'm looking at that now. Didn't it used to be like
took it from the D&D stream?
Yeah, when did that happen? I didn't even notice
at the beginning of this year.
Oh my god!
So we did the stream November, the first time in November, and then I just took that like character and I was like, I love that character so much. We'll just make it a part of the podcast.
It's sort of a cross between you and like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny. It's the anamorph middle ground between the two of you guys, I think.
Yeah. Somebody told me that he looks a little bit thicker. He looks a little thick.
Yeah.
But other than that,
definitely see it.
The look on his face of just pure shock and anguish. I mean, that's pretty much what my face looks all the time.
Yeah. Just that is
good?
Yeah, it's like pure shock. It's a beautiful sight.
Yeah, so it's just like a cool little shit that just became a passion project.
So like I assume when you had me on this episode, this is the one that you wanted to turn into like the ASMR episode. Is that the whole point of this? Because I feel like every time we talk and I have these headphones on, it turns into like an ASMR sort of food mukbang type channel.
Yeah. I'm actually glad you brought that up because I have a big bowl of macaroni that we're going to eat today. And I also have some pancakes that I pulled out of the toaster oven that should be ready. I'm just going to put syrup on them and then just chomp them. And I won't
I was
swallow.
thinking-
I'll just spit it back out onto the plate so you hear that.
Oh, so it's at first I'm thinking like pancake isn't the most like auditory experience, but then you started talking about the maple syrup, and I'm thinking about the squishiness, and then you're talking about just sort of mashing it between your teeth like a pancake smoothie, and then all of a sudden I realized why you're such a professional at this, dude. You really, that is the exact kind of textures we're talking about here.
Mike, it's all about the viewership, the listenability. That might not be a word, man, but I'll tell you, it's the big motivating factor when you're making an ASMR podcast.
Tell you what, I don't know if it's a word, but it was real listenable, and I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, I'm guilty, dude. I'm a snacker when I play video games, so I feel bad. I'm always just like, watch out over there, dude. We better capture mid, dude. Get Zapdos. I just can't help it. Video games and snacks go hand in hand together.
True that.
What is your like go-to snack when you play video games? Do you have one? We all know mine.
Mine's usually like sweet. Yes, dude. I was gonna say something like Oreos or something.
Yep.
Mine's usually. I'm not like a Cheeto or like Dorito. Like I never have that around me.
Really?
I have like those little mini cookies from Wegmans or like Oreos or something like that. That's
God.
where my head's at. Maybe
Dude,
some
I could
muffins.
crush
Stuff
one
like
of those
that.
boxes. Those mini boxes of chocolate chip cookies. The mini cookies. Get
They're
out
so
of here.
good. So
Why?
good.
Hey, Danny Wegman, why did you make them so tiny? Right?
The perfect size.
Yeah. Perfect size because they're bites, but they're bigger ones. The bigger chocolate chip cookie ones,
Mhm.
man.
Also so good.
Yeah.
Also so good. The mini
So
ones
good.
though have a way of being like, I could have one more though, and there's just no limit to that. It's sort of like a, there's a philosophical paradox about the tortoise and Achilles, where the Achilles should be much faster than the tortoise, but the tortoise, every time it moves a little bit, oh shit, I am so gonna butcher this paradox because I could barely remember it even when
Is
I'm
that the
like
tortoise
reading
and
it.
the hare?
No, it's the tortoise and Achilles. Essentially, the idea is like every time he moves, every time Achilles moves, the tortoise should have also moved. So, like, at some point, they should like catch up. Like, I can't, I'm not wording it correctly. But, anyways, it's basically virtually the same exact paradox. It's like you just eat a cookie and you're always like a little bit hungry and you can always have another cookie. It's the Danny Wegman cookie paradox.
And before you know it, all of a sudden, you feel violently ill and you've had 12 cookies.
Yep. And then,
which
like,
is not a good amount to
lost. You also lost the last 6 games in a row because you're just like on a sugar crash at that point. Yeah, it is a problem. I probably should start getting like Doritos instead. You don't have all those problems with Doritos.
See, Mike, I go with a healthier option, and I go with Doritos. That doesn't give me such a sugar crash. It just makes me feel so goddamn tired by 10 o'clock. You eat like a handful of Doritos, my body's like...
Yeah. Plus, you better have some sort of compressed air to get all that dust out of the buttons of your controller because you know it's getting in there one way or another. Like, just get it out somehow.
I usually wipe my controller down with a Clorox wipe when I'm done using it, only because there's so much Cheeto and Dorito dust all over it. It kind of comes out looking like an orange fabric softener sheet. You know, like an orange sweater that you haven't really washed too much before, and then just the sheet gets covered in orange lint.
Yep, 100%, dude. I can totally see that. Yeah, that's actually. And then you can wipe it on your face for like a good, quick fake tan.
Oh, dear Lord. Dude, the charity stream this year, I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, it was a. Thank you for segueing us out of there because that was getting into some weird conversation there.
Who knew what was coming next with Cheeto skin after that?
But yeah, charity thing, that's the other thing. Like our first one of those, we began talking about it like a year ago today. It was one of those like Facebook memory things that I saw. It was like I posted like a coming soon picture like 1 year ago today. And it's definitely cool to think like how that whole thing started and where we're at now. And I'm feeling good about this next one.
What I posted that day was I asked everybody. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone now. I was asking people what they thought. I just posted a logo, and then I said, "Tell me what you think we're doing." Oh, what do you think we're doing? And I posted the 3 characters together, just our characters. Someone said a porno,
gay porn.
hopefully.
Yep. There it is.
Starting a new brewery, because why else would 3 white dudes be doing anything but starting a brewery?
That's very fair.
Open mouth kissing, which is also fair.
Was one of these Bernie? One of them had to have been Bernie so far.
If I had to guess, it probably would have been impressive people making content. Was one of the guesses. If I had to guess, that was probably Bernie.
Oh, okay. This is one of those like Instagram things. So you probably
it was like one of the Instagram question things. Yeah, man. What you were doing the rise of the kobolds? What made you want to do that one shot? Is there something in particular about it?
Cory, not just any kobolds. This is the rise of the red scales.
Oh, rise of the red scales. My bad.
This isn't the rise of the blue scales and the red scales. This is the rise of the fucking red scales, Cory.
Oh,
this is a family podcast. Please, Cory, I'm gonna have to beep that out. No more of the swearing. All right, this is
my bad, dude. People are so confused.
But yeah, I like the idea of this one shot. I read it. I found it on the DMs Guild, written by a man named Ivan Atanasov, and it was just one that I found that was very unique. I was first kind of thinking of something like a heist or something like that, something where you're like goblins or something where you're like heisting, just something that would be like very like fun and silly. Because if I'm going to be DMing it, I really don't want to try to like match how well Dennis did like the serious Candlekeep. So instead I wanted to like lean on the crutch of like, all right, you guys are wacky goblins or kobolds. And I found this one shot, and like it's one of those ones that's pay what you want, which DMs Guild, if like people aren't familiar, which I'm sure, I mean, someone listening to this may not even be familiar with D&D, so it makes perfect sense that people wouldn't be familiar with DMs Guild, but it's basically a website where people can publish whatever they want. But usually the content is pretty good. And you can sort of buy a module, or they have like custom character classes and races or magic items. Like you could publish like anything on there for a price, or you can make it like pay what you want. So basically this one was free because it's pay what you want. And then I kind of checked it out and I loved it when I was reading it. Basically the idea was that you are playing, every one of the player characters is a kobold of the tribe of the red scale kobolds, and all of a sudden their dragon queen goes missing, and the red scale kobolds weren't just going to let the blue scale kobolds take over this dragon's lair. Like they're going to try to beat them to the punch. And the whole idea of this one shot just felt very like chaotic and silly, and kobolds are kind of like these shitty, like selfish things that like also are very subservient to like a master. So there's like this power gap right now, and the fact that like it needs to be filled, and there's tons of crazy magic items throughout the whole thing. It just makes for very fun chaos basically the entire time. And that was the kind of energy I'm looking for in this, and I think it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited because you don't get a chance when you play D&D to really like play a villain unless it's like really tailored for that kind of scenario. Because I mean, all campaigns are really like D&D is about being a hero, being an awesome person in this story. And a lot of times I feel like you can't really play some of these as a villain all the time and somebody who just wants to hurt everybody. Like imagine when we started our campaign and arriving to Phandalin, 2 evil guys, and we just wanted to slaughter people in Phandalin, like this town. Like that's not fun. You know what I mean? So now we get the opportunity to play a kobold. Like I would never pick that as a race to play.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the beautiful thing about D&D is that like it allows you to explore the spectrum of like good and evil, like what is good and evil, because like you said, like they're typically considered like evil creatures, but within the context of your own tribe, like you could be as good or evil as you want to be. Ultimately, like you're doing your work, which is like setting up traps for adventurers who might be wandering nearby, or like literally like trying to kill humans and stuff like that. But you're doing it in the service of your queen, and ultimately that's all a human would do in service of their king or queen. So it's just one of those things where it's like what perspective you're seeing it from. And this one is very much a unique perspective because you're thousands of feet or miles maybe beneath the Earth's surface in the world's largest mega dungeon that's been growing in size and power thanks to this ancient dragon for millennia. And it's it's a whole different perspective on it. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. I think I like the ability to not only, I mean, anytime I get to make a new character and kind of like play with new and be able to get to do things that I normally wouldn't be able to do with my character. You know what I mean? Like Ragnar the Paladin, very righteous, always by his god of Lathander. You know, he's gonna do things different than what was the name of my kobold? Dribble? I forgot his name. I had a funny ass
I believe
name
it was
for him.
Dribble Nose Sprout. Was
there
the
it
name
is.
you went with.
Yep, Dribble Nose Sprout. That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be funny. I'm excited to see have you DM for Dennis and I. That's gonna be wild.
It should be fun. I also I would recommend people check this one shot out, even if you don't feel like I did the best job of performing it or what have you, whatever you want to call that, because I'm changing it a lot to sort of fit our unique thing that we're trying to stream it to people and like do it in a time frame and make it fun. So I'm changing a lot of the module to kind of like fit what we need. But I think this would be a really fun module for anyone to play, or who maybe like you're just kind of getting started in D&D or you have to do a one shot for whatever reason. Like this would be a really fun one to dive into. And it's one of those ones, again, like it's free. You can read it, and if you like it, then you can pay whatever you wanted or whatever you feel like it was worth afterward, and you don't have to like spend $10 on something that you don't feel like is a great product. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I definitely enjoyed reading it. It's funny, it's interesting, it's like well thought out.
Yeah, to pull the curtain back like on our plans, whenever we talk about putting together one of the charity streams, it seems like always our topics are like, all right, obviously, one, what's the organization that we're going to raise money for? Two, always is like, how are we going to make it entertaining for people? That's always the big one, because I feel like the different moods, like a Wild Sheep Chase is just like a whimsical adventure. It changes settings very quickly. There's a lot of options for people. Then Shemshime's bedtime rhyme was very.
It was almost based. It was almost based completely on a pun. Like it was very silly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you had Shemshime's bedtime rhyme that Dennis ran. That was like very like horror, spooky ass. But we were still like, all right, how can we make this like entertaining for a lot of people? How can we get them like pulled in and dragged in? That always seems to be the big ones. Like we just want to make it entertaining, fun.
That one was very timely. That was like right with the launch of Candlekeep.
Yep.
So he kind of did something interesting from Candlekeep, and then we gave out one of the Candlekeep books. And this time around, one of the things that I wanted was like to make it fun, which is like why we're doing a kobold based thing. And I wanted it to involve, I wanted the people watching to be involved more. I was very inspired when we watched the McElroy brothers play. Wasn't it Honey Heist?
Honey
That's
Heist.
what they were playing. Yeah, Honey
Yep.
Heist. And like they did a lot of things where like they would leave a vote to the audience to decide like what the characters are going to do. So it's sort of, that was almost like whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
Like forcing them to improv. But I wanted to do things like include the audience when we're playing, and I want to have times when we like throw a vote to the people in chat, and like people in chat are able to vote on things. We've like in the past, we've also did like giveaways in chat, and we may or may not be doing some of those with the people watching this time. But yeah, I also wanted to incorporate like basically a way for people watching to be able to influence the game itself. So you can do things like we're going to have basically a chance for you to donate. Right, everything would go directly to the food bank like everything else. But if you're doing it live, we're going to try to incorporate things like you're going to be able to give a player advantage or disadvantage on a roll, or allow them to cause a wild magic surge that might cause like a fireball, or might cause bubbles to come out of your mouth, or just like crazy things to happen. So like people watching can also have a absolute like direct impact on the game. And there's going to be times where you're going to like choose what way the players are going to go and stuff like that. So we definitely appreciate anyone donating for whatever reason. And if you want to watch the stream, like we are so glad to have you, and are going to try to make it fun and as fun as possible for like everyone watching. Like we're not just going to sit there and be like D20 plus 3, 4, 5. I hit the goblin.
I think there's
like,
some
we're going to try to make it fun.
Into that. They get caught like into that whole like, okay, I roll a D20, we do this, and then add 4. Okay, no, it's.
I mean, I'm sure that's going to happen a little bit too. Like it just happens, but we're going to try our best to try to make things fun for everyone. I think the module's set up for fun, but sorry, I kind of took your thunder on that. I'm not sure where, if you're going somewhere else with that, but
oh no, the only thing I was going to add to it was just I'm a little nervous on the wild magic table, but it like excites me just because for those that might not understand how D&D totally works, is like this is all improv. Like this is all just like Dennis and I coming up with situations. Like we kind of have our characters, background story, motivation set, but when you guys do a donation and Mike rolls on the wild table or the wild magic table, and all of a sudden I then have to switch gears and do a different personality, or bubbles come out of my mouth, or fireballs. Like that leaves a lot of things up to the dice, which I'm nervous for, but I'm excited because I think that makes it a better thing.
And also, this is a goal that I hope to achieve. I don't know that I will perfectly, but I hope to make this a little bit more like, did you watch Tiny Heist, right? With Brennan, and how that was very much less about combat. Like I'm thinking back on it, there was like one combat that I remember, but it was very much about like important roles. And there's going to be definitely some important roles throughout this that aren't necessarily combat based, but like you trying to achieve something. And it's going to be times like that, I feel like, where people watching in the audience like can really make a difference, like giving you advantage. Or I think I'm going to have something that gives you like a flat +2 also. So like these moments like that are going to be tense and like still require good rolls are going to be close to impossible without the help of like people watching. Like I hope to achieve some sort of a balance there with that. But I know there's at least a couple moments where it's like, dang, it's hard to accomplish this, but it would be really cool if you do. And like the more help you get from people watching, like that would be pretty dope. So
yeah, I'm
the
excited
fate
for
is
it.
it, or you just make their life living hell and like give them disadvantage and like try to blow like intense moments. You're like, all right, I'll cause a magic surge right now, and maybe it'll fuck them up completely. If
And
you're
all of
that
a
kind of
sudden, you're
person,
teleported to the Underdark, and now you're in front of a massive, giant Cthulhu.
yeah.
Now you get roll for initiative, I guess.
Corey, this is so within the realm of possibility that you don't even have any idea. Like, I can't. Yeah, it's just it's this whole thing is just craziness.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I mean, who doesn't love playing Dungeons and Dragons with their friends, and that's for a good cause. And it's always been a love, a goal. Goal sounds weird, but to do like a D&D podcast or a D&D like stream thing, it just seems so cool, and I love the opportunities I get to do shit like this, you know.
Absolutely, dude.
And it's for a good cause. I know I said that 12,000 times, but the money's local. It all stays the CNY food bank, which is, I know, super important to us when we had first started talking about it, that we wanted to make it like a local Syracuse thing.
Yep. Yeah, they showed us around their factory warehouse last year.
Yeah.
It was definitely a cool experience, dude. It's hopefully we'll be able to go back. Yeah.
Very enlightening for me, for sure. Because I think I was pretty ignorant to how many people were like she had a word for it, food deficient or something like that. There was a word for it where there's a lot of people in CNY that don't have access to food like they should, which is not something I've ever have to be concerned about in my life. Thank God. You know, like right. I've been very fortunate where my family just like we always had dinner on the table and lunch ready to go. I mean, there's a good chunk of the time that your mom made me dinner, but I mean, we never had to worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%, dude. And it was also inspiring to see like all the people who were there like volunteering and taking time out of their own day to help out, and like how impressive that place was based on the generosity of other people, and seeing the people like that we know who have donated to our campaigns or whatever you want to call them twice now. Like, yeah,
we're already at like $660 out of 3,000.
Yeah, we're very appreciative of that. Very inspiring.
That gets me excited, dude. We're only a couple weeks away. When this episode drops, it'll be the week before our stream. So you're going to be listening, people, right now, November 5th. We're recording this like a week and a half early. So everybody's going to be listening to this the week before we have our stream, which I'm excited for. This is going to be dope.
Beautiful. Yes. Also, I think I should point out that Three Lives has been very supportive with us, like the first time and this time. And we're going to try to do... We're doing giveaways of Three Lives. I don't know if it's food voucher or gift certificate, but we're doing a bunch of giveaways for that. And the other special thing we wanted to do, we don't have the details 100% worked out, but we're going to have a way for you to be able to play with us at Three Lives, because they are now doing D&D every Tuesday night. And we are going to, every time we do one of these streams, we have people asking to like play with us. And from that, like we've done one shots privately with people who have asked to play with us. So this time we want to incorporate that right from the start and hopefully raise some extra money for the charity. So we're going to figure out a way we're going to have 3 slots available to play with us 3 at Three Lives sometime in the future. That's going to work with everyone involved. But like, there's going to be a lot of giveaways, and a lot of 3 Lives related giveaways, and you're going to have a chance to be able to play with us and possibly even continue the adventure that we start from this one shot. If people would be into that, like that's a possibility that could happen.
Yeah.
Or just start something brand new. But yeah, there should be 3 slots available for that, and hopefully we'll have some more details about that in the future.
What I would be really pumped for too for that is the fact that, you know, whenever we play, it's usually me, you, and Dennis. Dennis our DM, and then you and I the players, and that'll be our first time like really like in a big group, you know, with other people, which would be really cool. I'm excited for.
Well, we did it with Ben and Cody that one time, but this will be our first time doing it in person
with all
at 3, and like they would include like I think they call it like grog or mead or like whatever drink you want if you don't drink. But yeah, it's gonna be like a really cool in-person experience with the physical dice and maps and drinks, and I think it'll be that should be a really fun when that happens. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. That'll be next Saturday at 7 p.m. November 13th, twitch.tv/Frothy Lawson. It'll be 3 of us playing Dungeons and Dragons. My friend Mike Spuches DMing. My friend Dennis and myself will be playing kobold characters. Will we be up to mischief? Probably.
Will they steal the treasure? Most certainly. Deep beneath the small town of Hensfield, unbeknownst to its inhabitants, lies the world's biggest dragon's lair. This cavernous mega-dungeon has been growing underground for millennia. Here, the ancient dragon queen, Aramanthlia Avaraxina, lies slumbering, surrounded by the wealth of nations and the treasures of thousands of devoured adventurers. Here, her sinister plans for world domination are hatched. Here, her prized treasures are kept behind numerous arcane and mundane defenses. This then continues out in a way that I'm not going to continue right now. But find out later what happens.
On the next episode of Dungeons and Donations. Mike, now let's get to a subject that is the real reason you brought me on to
math.
This podcast.
Okay, Cory. So 3.14. What is that? Like, what is that exactly, Cory? Tell me about what that means to you.
What was the number again?
3.14.
3.14159265359. Is that the number you're talking about?
That's the one, yes.
That would be the number for pi.
Excellent. All right, on to science, the other subject I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes.
What if we got monkeys? Why we still got monkeys? I forgot how that one went. All right. What do you what were we talking about over here?
Yeah, no, I just
bring you on for?
This is the reason why I brought you on to the podcast, because not only are you a good friend of mine, and this is the 50th episode, and I figure what way to celebrate such a special event by having a close friend like you on the podcast, and also kind of getting down to what really matters in life, right?
All right.
Now, Mike, since you're in the hot seat, I'm going to pass this question off to you. You give me your thoughts, ring through a couple things, and then you could throw it back to me. Okay, sound good?
Yep. As the host, I'm going to allow it.
Oh. Okay, so very big question, Mike. Is cereal soup?
No.
Why? There's broth in it. Just the milk.
No.
Why?
Cory. Cory. Cereal. What? Cory, cereal? Is cereal. It's not soup. Cory.
Yeah. What's up, man?
It's not soup.
But you could call it soup, right?
Cory,
because it's like liquidy and then like
no.
you
ever Cory? You
Yeah,
ever cut your mouth on a nice big bowl of Captain Crunch and think, this soup is good? No.
No. Well,
No,
no, I'm
Cory.
just thinking
No,
like,
no, Cory, you don't ever say that. You say the cereal is cutting my mouth, is what you say.
well, I'm just thinking like if you put chicken noodle soup on the stove, you heat it up. Like my Captain Crunch, I usually put in a little saucepan. I just like to heat it up a little bit, so that's kind of the
Okay,
same.
how about this? I will say, if you took chicken noodle soup and dried it out,
And then put milk on it.
and then you put milk on top of it,
Yep.
then that would be cereal, though.
Okay.
I will say that.
Okay. But in order for it to be soup, would we have to pour chicken broth on our tricks? Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not eating tricks. I'm eating Captain Crunch. So put
So-
chicken broth on Captain Crunch.
Now that you say that, actually, I could see a dish that involved a hot broth, traditional of soup,
I'm
that
following.
also incorporated some Captain Crunch cereal. So in that case, the cereal Captain Crunch could be part of a soup. But if you're asking me, if I pour a bowl of Reese's peanut butter cups and pour milk on top of that, is that now soup? Absolutely not. Next question.
All right, moving right along. Now, listen, you're in the hot seat, Mike. Welcome to the show. We call this part of the show "Sitting in the Hot Seat with Mike." Mike, real quick, give me a couple thoughts off the top of your head. Where did the name Pina Colada come from?
The song, actually. The song was first.
The song came first.
The song came first, actually. Little known fact. And then people were like, what is he talking about? I want to create a drink that fits the vibe of the song. And then they created the Pina Colada after the song was made.
You don't think? I feel like Pina Colada was named after a city, not the song. Is Pina Colada a city?
I'm actually not. Was this like a Jeopardy type question where there was a right answer, or
I have no idea.
were
I
just
could
like,
Google it right now if you wanted.
I thought you kind of just came in where you were like, Pina Colada, talk to me about that. But I don't know.
It just is Spanish for strained pineapple, a reference to freshly pressed and strained pineapple juice used in the drink's preparations.
See, he must have known that when he wrote the song.
That's true. That's true. But now, listen, if what is the most annoying catchphrase in the world that you hear people say?
Catchphrase. Now, what do you mean by like
Catchphrase
a real
or saying or a sentence people use all the time?
Okay, like some sort of idiom.
I'll go first because I got
give
one.
me something because
When I worked in retail, there was a older guy that I worked with who would always say, "Hey Cory, you working hard or hardly working over there?"
Oh,
hey,
okay.
Hey, it's not funny. Hey, I'm working really hard. Don't demoralize me like that. I care about this place. Okay?
I respect that, dude. You wouldn't even. You're offended at the thought of hardly working. I like that about you.
Yeah.
I will say I could think of one. This is only happens once a year, but it's rough. Can you?
I might know.
Tell me what do you think it is?
We'll say it on the count of 3 together.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'll see you next year.
I'll see you next year. I didn't know. I was just trying to guess.
You fucker.
Yeah, I'll see you next year when you get that on.
On New Year's. I'll see you next year. That probably worked for the audio part of the show.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Guys,
We
this is
do our own
a
sound
good time to mention the Corycast has been taken to YouTube. So if you're a YouTube Premium member, you can go ahead, click that download button on each and every one of his episodes. It'll count as a full view for the full watch time of the episode. It'll do Cory a lot of good. And why aren't you a YouTube Premium member? I know you watch a lot of YouTube. You don't like those ads. Skip over them. Go ahead, cancel whatever music subscription you have because you get YouTube Premium. You also have a music subscription. Go ahead, download all Cory's videos. It'll be all gravy. He'll get the maximum amount for it. Yeah, we're over here on the YouTube. All right. What were we saying? We're on to questions. Pina Coladas. Yeah, I answered that one. It was clearly named. The song came first. They were inspired by the song. They created a drink. You did a Google search to confirm everything I said was correct, and we're on to the next question.
Now this is the part where we get kind of serious on the show, and the next part might upset some people.
Yeah,
but
this is if you're faint of heart or virgin ears, you may want to turn off the episode now.
Yeah, you might just viewer discretion is advised on this one. Mike, what body part would you like to have removed?
It's an interesting question. I guess whichever one would make me the most amount of money if I sold it.
What do you think it'd be? Kidney?
Do you need? I only need one, I think.
You only need one, dude.
So yeah, probably kidney.
Nah, dude, you're gonna keep that kidney in case I need it.
If I get $20 though, it's $20.
For me, I'm gonna answer this question. I ask myself this question constantly, and my answer is my pinky toe.
That's interesting. Mine kind of sucks anyway. I'll cut that thing off, no problem. Yeah, it's like all like. Yeah,
pinky toe's probably the worst, but at least you're making money off yours. I'm not making shit up. Nobody wants a messed up, broken pinky toe.
Some sort of museum will have it, I'm sure.
There might be a dude listening right now that has a foot fetish. In that case, PM me and let me know your address. I'll send you my pinky toe.
Well, if you donate over $1,000 to our donation pool, I will cut off Cory's pinky toe and sell it to you. So
I like that.
I'll keep an eye on the donations. You could even leave it anonymous and just send me an inbox message. But yeah, I will cut off his toe.
Mike, what's the coolest sound? What a funny question. What's the coolest sound? I'll go first. You know what's really cool is late at night when I'm laying in bed and then I hear someone's car go. Just kidding. Never once has that thought ever crossed my mind.
As an electric vehicle owner, let me tell you how fucking annoying the loud-ass motorcycle is right next to my house when the guy is just going right by my house 12 times in a row.
It's a neighborhood. Why do you have to rev it?
Dude, it's somewhere else, though.
Listen, when you're on Route 31 and you're having a good time, you're on the highway, that's all good. Hey, man, it's 8 o'clock and I got a baby sleeping. For sure, don't rev your motorcycle down the street at 30 miles an hour, gunning that thing as loud as you can.
The coolest sound, dude. Fuck, man.
I got a serious one.
If I'm taking your lead, the annoying one, it's fucking my dog's barking when I'm trying to sleep. That's one, but
I got a serious one though. The coolest noise is the noise that people make with their mouth when they make the water drop.
The water drop? How do they do that? It doesn't make any sense. I was like almost sure it was someone like fucking with me and they had some sort of like phone were doing it or something like that. But yeah, people are good at that. Yeah. I don't understand it personally. Or how about the loud whistle? What's up with that? Can you do that one? The
nope, never.
It like silences an entire stadium somehow. Yep. Like, how do people do that?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
You did the whistle, and I immediately had flashbacks to like gym class. We're all like, "Huh? Where's the teacher? Where is
Do
she? I
they
need to
teach
group up.
that in like phys ed? What, like what, I don't.
It's-
What is
they
higher
teach it
level
in
phys
phys
ed
ed.
training?
It's the same day as the circus class. Remember when you would juggle scarves and spin plates? That's the same week they teach you the
Yep.
whistle.
I was watching that show Game Changer, and at one point he busted out that thing that was like the juggling thing where it's like 2 sticks and you go like this, and the
Yeah.
thing like jumps up.
No,
I completely
idea
forgot
how
about that thing. Where did they find these activities when we were in like elementary school gym class? Like,
no idea.
what? It was never like basketball day, and like it was always like here's like some shit like a clown learns on like day 14.
Yeah. Hey, you guys ready for some line tag? No, I don't want to play line tag, Deborah. I want to fucking play basketball with my friends.
All right, then climb this rope all the way to the top 25 feet up, and if you fall,
Why?
you probably will die.
But my hands will hurt.
Well, then climb the steel pole. It's really slippery.
There's 10 basketball hoops in this gym, and I've never seen any of them get used. Can we just use one of them?
You will learn to juggle.
Would you rather have no nose but have really good smelling fingers, or be blind and have a really nice smile?
Wait. Like your fingers would be able to smell instead of your nose?
No,
or
your
they
fingers just smell really
nice?
good. You can never smell them. Or would you be blind and have a really nice smile? You could just never see your smile.
I would take the nose thing because my sense of smell is messed up from COVID anyway, dude.
Oh,
I can barely remember what things smell like anyway. Dude, cut that thing off. Imagine I have really nice smelling fingers all the time, though. That would be. Dogs would probably always want to lick your hands, though. Or maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to be blind, though. Like, I would immediately give up my sense of smell just to have... That's on the scale of convenience, being blind all the way down here and just not being able to smell things every now and then. Well, actually, all the time. I mean, don't be able to smell anything.
And also, here's critical, like, you also can't breathe out of your nose. Like, that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
Bit of an issue.
Would you rather always have a mullet haircut or a ponytail haircut?
See, now, honestly, this is a win-win for me because I could at least have a haircut at that point.
You can have a haircut instead of default 0.
You know, I don't understand this question, actually, because you can fucking cut it. What are you talking about? I can only have a ponytail.
Oh, you always have to. Your hair, it never grows, but you can only put it in a mullet or a ponytail. And if you try to put your mullet into a ponytail, it erupts the hair tie and it explodes back out into a mullet.
So if you shave it, does it do that?
It immediately will
like
just
a chia
regrow
pet.
Into a mullet.
It's like a instant chia pet.
Yeah, it's a quicker chia pet. See, for me, I prefer ponytail.
I've got to go ponytail.
My hair in my face.
You got to go ponytail because the mullet would be fun for like a year, and then it would be like, get out, get off my fucking head. But the ponytail you could put up into a hat. Sometimes it might look a little short. Yeah, you could. You can just do different fun things with it. What if you tried to put it in like pigtails though?
They would immediately burst and then form into a ponytail.
This is an interesting curse you've placed on this fictional character.
It's a mild, inconvenient curse. Oh, God.
It's a good use of magic.
But I feel like, to your point, a mullet would get so, like, it would lose its funniness after, like, the first, I think a year is being generous, Mike. Like, I feel like a month after you have a mullet, everybody's like, oh, yeah, nice, cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's that. Then you got to deal with, like, hair constantly smacking you in the face. And you just put it in a ponytail and you don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Hit me with the next one, why don't you?
Yeah, let me see.
All right, so the next one, Cory,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, by the way.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I have appreciated having you on.
Yeah.
So
It was my pleasure. I'm
you
glad
know,
you asked me to be on the podcast.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. As you know, this is a question I ask all my viewers, and attendees to the podcast, not just the viewers, I guess. But I ask them every single time, who would win, 1 billion lions or one of every Pokemon?
Okay. I'm glad you asked this question, Mike, because it has literally
don't
been
feel
on
special.
my
I
mind.
ask every one of my guests. So,
what did the Howard Hanna VP say when you asked him this question?
he had an interesting take, because he said to me was, he said, while it's an interesting question, obviously we all have to think about how are the lions going to reach things like Rayquaza flying in the air, but also that's a lot of lions. But he brought it back to the central point, that was, that's a lot of destruction that would happen. And think of the impact on the real estate and the housing market of the not only the area in which the battle takes place, but surrounding areas. Like, that's drastically going to throw off property values. Homeowners are going to be really disappointed. It's going to probably give people good interest rates, and that's fine in the short term. But think of all the people and all the lost damages and stuff like that. So we're best not even discussing the subject. And actually, now that I'm thinking about the way he worded that, let's go on to your next question. Just give me the next question. We'll go on.
No, I want to elaborate on this question, because I want the viewers at home to be very clear my stance on this question. You asked me earlier in the show, not just too long ago, who would win 1,000 elephants or 1,000 lions. You said lions?
What the hell are you talking about?
What did you just ask me? What was the specifics of
you weren't even close to my question.
Tell me.
1 billion lions.
Oh.
Or one of every Pokemon.
That still doesn't change my answer, and it's literally one of every Pokemon. Mewtwo. So
your answer before was going to be one of every Pokemon when you thought it was lions versus elephants?
No matter what the answer was, one of every Pokemon was going to win. But I wanted to be clear to the people listening that, hey, those lions ain't going to do shit to Mewtwo. They ain't going to do shit to a Pidgeotto who's just flying.
Are you kidding me? You think a Pidgeotto is going to take out 1 billion lions, bro?
Mike.
One of them is.
Mike.
Now, if. Not yet.
Look at me in the webcam
they have no chance. They have no chance.
Look at me in the webcam. I will fucking end this podcast. You understand me?
I was looking at you with my third eye, dude.
All right, let's do one more question. Let me get a good one.
Let's do a lightning round in here.
Lightning round. Okay, would you rather have your books read by a few hundred people or a few million? Go.
A few million. What?
Okay, would you rather have a life without air conditioning or never be able to use deodorant? Go.
Fuck. Never be able to use deodorant. Bro, I need my AC, my guy.
Would you rather date your best friend or someone you don't know?
Cory, was this all an elaborate plot to get to this point?
I don't know.
I don't know. Definitely, I would pick a random homeless person over you, dude.
All right. Fair enough. Lightning round. We're going quick. Next question. Would you rather get your wisdom teeth pulled or your butt cheeks pierced?
Butt cheeks clapped. Next question.
Clap? No, pierced, Mike.
Wait. Oh, the first one then.
Would you rather be trapped in a romantic comedy with your enemies or trapped in a horror movie with your friends?
The first one.
Would you rather be smacked in the face with a fish or farted on?
Yes.
Yes, I would like that.
Yes.
Like some of these questions though kind of suck. Would you rather poop in the only toilet at a party knowing that you'll clog it, or poop in the bushes in the backyard? For me, I'm gonna poop in the bushes.
That is a good question. Now, at least if you get caught pooping in the toilet, it's like, hey, he
Clogged,
pooped in a
Mike.
toilet.
Clogged it.
You can just blame it on someone else, I guess.
That's embarrassing. Well, there you go. That's a good idea. Would you rather be able to teleport or time travel?
That's a loaded question because time travel has all kinds of paradoxes involved. Rick and Morty won't even touch the subject.
Mike, hey, just answer the goddamn
universe.
question.
Oh, I'm gonna break the universe. Am I gonna freaking Doc and Marty the whole situation? I don't know. I'm gonna go with teleport. Just keep it clean and simple.
Would you rather have to speak in rhyme for the rest of your life or speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
Oh, dude, not riddles, dude. Rhyme, dude.
I honestly would not be your friend anymore if you made me fucking figure out riddles all the time. Rhyme, if you spoke in rhyme, I'd be impressed. Like, I'd be like, nice, dude, Mike can rhyme anything in the book. But then you're talking to me in riddles. Hey.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
One is William Shakespeare. You're a genius. Two, you are a lunatic and annoying. So, yeah. It would be impressive, though, if someone could exclusively speak in, like, riddles they're creating on the spot. That would be impressive, actually.
That'd be very impressive, but could you go on a 3-hour road trip with them somewhere?
A trip you could go to where? Who's to know? What if I just busted out a sick riddle right there?
I would have been so impressed.
I can't do it, though.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on the podcast. It was a real blast. Thanks for the lightning round questions. Thanks for having me on. It was a real honor, dude. When is this episode going to be out?
This one should be out by the time that I release it. Like, it should be out when the people are hearing this, it should be out by then.
Okay, cool. I just have some social media links and like even my real estate website. Can I put the links in the description? Can I give you that? Okay. All right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate many years of friendship.